on this episode of The Bender Hour.
So what's gonna be like the added flavor?
So you're looking for like something that you steep to get the flavor?
Yeah, I guess so.
It could still just be like a turd.
That is so nasty. Like just the way like fucking like November 2024, he's gonna look at the camera and say, "Hey, Peyton, there's 4 sloppy joes where that came from." Disgusting rat think fuck.
Use code Rocky6 to get 6% off.
6% off. I don't even shave my fucking balls. Get this fucker off of me!
Man. I'm gonna
USA.
get back that mud bastard for noodling me.
Alright, you good now?
Yeah.
I'm left in the chamber. Alright. So, the topic I wanted to bring up here that I was mentioning before we started recording, something I didn't know how I was even going to like get into it, so I figured I might as well start with it. I wanted to talk about the sheer animosity towards like Justin Bieber and Crazy Frog, like in the early 2000s. Like, I don't know if you remember that at all. Maybe at least like Justin Bieber.
I remember Justin Bieber. Crazy Frog was not a big topic of discussion.
I guess,
as far as I remember.
I guess to be fair, it was earlier, but they both had like the same people that just said the most like wicked things online, like to like harm these people. Like there was like kind of like how you remember, I guess like when Happy Wheels was big, like every single game on Happy Wheels was like kill Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Well, in the days of Crazy Frog, there was like flash games all over the internet where like you tortured him to death. And I just
Is that like the in war what happens after he gets captured by those robots?
yeah, it was like crazy shit. I don't know what was like wrong with people. I wonder like where those people like went to now.
I mean, granted, if I saw that little frog in real life, I'd probably kill him too.
Like those people probably move on to like kill their pets or something.
Yeah.
Slaughter defenseless creatures. Yeah, I made a Justin Bieber like kill mini game in Happy Wheels. Now
They became chemical processing employees just so they could dump like chemical waste into freshwater supply to poison frogs.
all around poison fried. That is a dead animal hater moment.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's really just as far as I even wanted to take that. I knew I wouldn't be able to really spiral it. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Now I wanted to start with the
Repressed memories.
yeah, but in a way, I guess that does, in the slightest margin, lead into this one, talking about just like horrible people doing horrible things. You know that.
Yeah, the topic that we have never talked about on this podcast.
I know. Yeah, that's why you kept it brief. But for this one, you know, do you know the tagline for Snapple, right? Like, made from the best stuff on Earth.
Yes.
I want to ask you, what would be a Snapple made from the worst stuff on Earth?
Shit water.
Wait, what water did you say?
Shit water.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. Warm shit water. You'd call it crapple.
They purposefully don't put it in the freezers at the supermarket. They keep it out on the shelf.
Like, this is what I'd imagine. Like, it would come in like 2 flavors, like shit water and warm bath water. And they don't even fully seal the caps, so they're all kind of loose. They all like look like they've been opened.
It doesn't pop when you twist it.
No. It's not even
The safety
sealed.
seal. The
It's
safety
broken.
seal is already broken.
But what would be like under the cap? I feel like you'd still have to keep
It just
kind
says fuck you.
of, like I would like it if maybe like under the cap there was like uncomfortable truths or something.
Snapple fact, I fucked your mom.
It's talking about like how long you have left to live. Like true verified like crapple fact number 1, where it lists you by name and gives you like a date. Worst stuff on Earth. Is shit water the worst stuff on Earth?
I'd like to imagine so. I mean, what could top that?
I don't know. Because I mean, I guess that would be like the plain single worst liquid ingredient if it really had to just have one. But you know, the whole thing is that, you know, there's got to be like some kind of natural flavor added to it. You know, it's like it's supposed to be flavored tea.
Is shit not natural?
Well, it is natural, but I'm saying like that's like if that's your base is shit water, like that's the tea equivalent. So what's gonna be like the added flavor?
So you're looking for like something that you steep to get the flavor?
Yeah, I guess so.
It could still just be like a turd.
That is so nasty. Like just the way you like dunk a tea bag to make the water turn brown. You just leave this stale turd in the water until it turns the same. And then like I said, what would be like the natural flavor you'd add to this?
See, it would be hit or miss, but you could add durian.
Ugh.
Like durian extract.
Yeah, that would be hit or miss. I mean,
because like people in Indonesia might actually like buy that because they love durians over there.
Yeah, but is that gonna counteract the shit? like they're like leaping the drink shit water just because there's like a hint of durian in it. No way. Like, it's got to be something gross. I mean, it is funny to think that there's like a real ass fruit in it.
What's the name of that plant that smells like a dead body?
The Rafflesia, something like that.
Like, if you extracted that like taste and scent chemical that it produces and put that into the drink,
that would be bad.
Like steep Rafflesia leaves.
Yeah,
instead of using tea leaves, you use that plant's leaves.
That is a dirty tea. Fucking like just tastes like stale turds and dead bodies.
Yeah.
Crapple.
And throw in a few dart frogs in there for good measure.
Like there's like a dart frog shucking machine at the factory where it just completely fillets its skin. And like you soak that in the tea as well. So it's like great if the taste didn't kill you, like the fucking dysentery would, and if that didn't get you, the poison would.
Yeah, the poison that could drop an elephant.
And just fully steep this poisonous hide. Yeah, that is rough. And it'd all have to stay like in the new plastic bottles they have too, just to make it even worse.
Yeah, those awful plastic bottles.
It just says it right in your face, like made from the worst stuff on Earth. It's got like
it says right on the label that the bottle is not BPA free. It is not food grade plastic.
It is not. And like the cap is made extra tall so like it wastes more. It's not like water bottles, they try to like make it smaller.
The bottle itself is pretty like thick for a drinking bottle.
Yeah.
They're just trying to use as much plastic as they can.
And then what I'd like is right behind the Crapple logo. You know how typically they have like maybe like a picture of like whatever fruit is gone into that particular flavor.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna say Crapple with like a nice little graphic image of just like that Rafflesia flower next to a turd and like a dead
like
rotting poison dart frog.
Yeah,
like
a skinned frog.
Just like muscle like top side. Yeah, I mean, it couldn't even like operate like Bean Boozled because like no one would even dare drink this as like a joke.
Because it'll fucking kill you.
Like how long would?
But I guess there's a good chance that the steeping, like the actual boiling process of the water and the steeping of the frog, like might break down the poison.
Yeah.
I don't know
That
how
still
much you
leaves
have to
the
cook a
taste.
dart frog to get the poison out, if that's even possible.
It still leaves all of that taste. Like, how long? Like, and is this still? Would you think this would still be operated by, like, Snapple and like whoever their
Snapple.
fucking company is?
I mean, if they could already ditch the glass bottles and go to the plastic just to spite mankind.
I guess anything goes.
Yeah.
Because this would go against literally everything in like a modern day like capitalist setting. They're making something for the sole purpose of just like spiting mankind. There's no monetary incentive. No one's buying this outside of like a mistake.
They could probably get away with doing a marketing campaign around drinking it as a challenge. In the same way, like, remember how ghost peppers were like a big thing when we were in high school? Like, people would buy ghost peppers and like do the ghost pepper challenge. Like, it'll be like that, the crapple challenge. You gotta drink the whole bottle.
Okay, I just thought of a good idea. You know how every time you ever bring up like a Snapple around someone that isn't like us, they always have to mention like, you know how like some of those facts are fake?
Is that something that people say?
Yes.
I've never had someone say that to me.
I've had several people say that to me. So this is what's gonna happen. They're like, just to make things even dirtier, 1 out of every 100 regular Snapples is a crapple with the Snapple like with the Snapple like a logo and shit all over it. It's the identical color. You would not know until like you open the cap. It just like, people would like you when you. There's no way like, they're not even like setting it up as a challenge. They're challenging you as like a human.
They're challenging your right to exist.
Yeah, like you know, it's like here at Snapple, you know, like they get like John T. Snapple like shows up at a podium, like a press conference, like a fucking State of the Union address comes on. This guy comes out, like, comes out in front of a podium, and instead of the presidential seal, it's like the Snapple logo. It's like, in reference to the billions of people who've slandered our true and verified Snapple facts. 1 in every 100 Snapples will be a crapple. Good luck. And he just walks off, like, he walks out of the Oval Office. No, that would be probably one of the foulest smelling things on Earth. I'll give it that, at least. No one will ever truly know, because I don't think anyone who drank it would be able to live long enough to tell you about it. Okay, I remember what I was talking about before. Remember how when I brought up how I had one topic that had 2 different scenarios packaged with it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is something that my brother and I had been doing recently, where we like to give each other horrible jobs and see if we can like sweeten the deal enough to get each other to like accept working there. And I guess I'll start with the one I came up with first, just because like I wrote it here. So tell me if you would take this job. And let's see. I was gonna say like for reference, but I want to like maybe like dox myself by saying like what I got the example from, I guess. So let's just put it this way: you work as a taste tester at a cheese factory. Now, how this works is you're the sole person in like this warehouse setting. There's a conveyor belt next to you, and every like 30 seconds, there's a piece of cheese slightly smaller than a Kraft single that comes down the conveyor belt. You have to eat. You have to eat every single one for an 8-hour shift. You get, and what happens is at the end of the conveyor belt is just like a hole, is a bottomless pit. You can't even see anything. It's pitch black. Every time a piece of cheese falls down that hole that being eaten, red alarms blare and like metal shutters come down over the windows and doors, and a loud booming robotic voice says, 1 out of 3 missing cheese remains. So you only have 2 more. You can only fuck up like 2 more times before something awful happens.
What if you just take the cheese off the conveyor belt and just like put it next to you?
Yeah, that's exactly what my brother said, but this is where I get into the second part. So, how the system works is, this is an 8-hour shift. Let's say you're going to get paid a 6-figure salary, $100,000 flat a year for this job. Now, every piece of cheese you consume gets tallied into a cheese counter on a little console next to you. You get a cheese point. And you can spend these cheese points to give yourself an upgrade for that day. Maybe make the conveyor belt slower. Maybe make the cheese a little bit smaller. Like summon a batch of rats that'll help eat the cheese with you. However, you need to operate this console while also making sure you eat the cheese too. Because every second you aren't looking at the conveyor belt, it moves faster.
This still doesn't answer the question of, like,
oh yeah,
you could just take the cheese off and then mark it as if you ate it.
Well, you do have to eat a certain amount of cheese. I think you have to eat at least half of the cheese sent to you. Now,
what if you just pull it off, mark that you ate it, get enough points to summon the rats, and then have the rats eat the pile?
Well, problem number 1, you only get cheese points if you eat the cheese off of the conveyor belt. And 2...
But you're keeping the score, are you not, with your
No,
console?
it's like automatically being tallied by like an unknown force on your console. Like every time you eat a piece of cheese, like a voice comes out of the computer saying like, cheese point. And you get 1. Now, this is something I'm going to add from when I gave this to my brother. Every piece of cheese that like you try to like put away for later, like take it off the conveyor belt so it doesn't fall down the hole, it will keep your it'll basically stop you from gaining any new cheese points until they're all eaten and taken care of. You think you could take this job?
I don't think so. That is so much cheese in one day. You're never gonna shit again.
Okay, well think about it like this.
And cheese is pretty calorically dense too, so you're gonna be gaining weight so quickly.
Okay, well you gotta think of it like this. If let's say, you ate like a decent amount of cheese, you could spend those cheese points and make the job like way more tolerable for that day by making, the conveyor belt really slow down.
Yeah, but how much do each of these upgrades cost in cheese points? If you get 1 per slice, like the 300.
I would say slowing down the conveyor belt by 5% costs at least 15 cheese points.
By 5%, that's like nothing.
Yeah, but that stacks up. It's a lot of cheese.
And the whole point is that you're a cheese tester. Like, why can you summon the rats to eat the cheese for you? And are you even testing the quality of the cheese? Like, you're just eating cheese.
The job said cheese tester. Like, what it actually is really up for interpretation.
See how much cheese a person can eat before they lose their fucking minds.
100,000? I mean, okay, what if I sweeten this deal and I made it so each of the cheeses were only the size of like a cheese cube, like one you'd put on like a cracker?
Then I might do that.
You consider that one?
I'd consider that.
Okay. And also,
Is there any chance that I get some like bad cheese? Considering I am a cheese tester.
I'd say just for the sake of you and the amount of cheese that has to be eaten, there's no particularly bad cheese.
Like, I'm not getting any spoiled cheese or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
These are all just like standard American cheese cubes.
That's it? It's only like American yellow?
Maybe like one cheddar one like sneaks by every now and then.
You don't get any Gouda or Gorgonzola or anything nice? It's just always American yellow?
I think I made it so that they were all Gorgonzola for my brother. But
see, I would definitely take that.
I probably would too. But unfortunately, by reducing the size down to the cubes, I'm going to have to speed up the conveyor belt. I can't give it exact speed, but it's the sound of it, it's going... So maybe that could put an idea in your head.
Approximately like how many cubes per second?
Like how many per second? There's enough
You said
coming...
before it was one slice like every 30 seconds. That's what you said before.
Yes. I would say at this speed, it's enough that, like, it's a little bit of a pain. Like, it's coming a little too fast to really, like, allow yourself to even, like, take the slightest of a break. It's pretty much forcing you to conserve those cheese points.
Do I get a lunch break on this job?
This job is the lunch break. You are provided drinks.
Do I get, like, a 15-minute paid break?
You have to pay for it in cheese points. It's 50 points for a lunch break, for a 15-minute lunch break.
This job is breaking labor laws.
You get a 15-minute break, you know, if you get enough cheese points. However, it's kind of like you get checked by like Cheese SA, like instead of TSA when you enter the building. So like they don't let you bring in your own like food or drinks. You're provided your own like cheese. They give you like grilled cheese and whole goat milk.
I don't think I've ever actually had goat milk before. I don't know what that tastes like.
Well, if you don't like it, you are offered melted cheese as a substitute. Now, assuming this is still the Gorgonzola cube, do you still take this job for a 6-figure salary?
I would highly consider it.
It's not too bad. But now I gotta hit you with the second one. The one my brother came up with, which might be a little filthier. Okay, so, you know, all of a sudden you're contacted by like Boston Dynamics. They email you and they say that you're overqualified for their position and that they want you to begin work immediately. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna get paid you're gonna get paid like $60,000 a year, but you actually get to stay at home. And how this works is they send you 20 robotic flies that fly around you all day because they want to test to see like how like humans like, you know, react and deal with their new line of autonomous robots. These things buzz around like from 8 a.m. to like I don't even know. It's I'll just say from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. These things buzz around your head. And there's very little you can do to stop them. However,
There's very little. Like, I can't slap him out of the air.
you can't slap them because that's like a destruction of, like, if you purposely damage them, or if they find out that you like hired someone to damage them, then not only do you lose the job, but you have to fully reimburse Boston Dynamics all the money that they paid you.
That's bullshit. They're trying to test how a person reacts to a fly. The most common reaction is to swat it out of the air.
That's just not the data they're looking for. Now, if for a $5,000 like bonus, like a sign-on bonus, if you take that, you can get 100 more flies.
For a one-time payment of $5,000.
Yes, it's a sign-on bonus.
That's not how sign-on bonuses work.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, a sign-on bonus is what you get for signing on to the job, not for taking on extra labor.
Well, you could always refuse the sign-on bonus and just stick with your 25 flies. But you think you could take this job? It's like, you could still do what you must to like avoid the flies. Whether that means like maybe like procuring like a mosquito net or something. But otherwise, you aren't
How
allowed
does it
to.
stop the sound though?
No, but you also are not allowed to physically like destroy these things in any like purposeful manner.
I mean, that is like passive income, because I'm assuming you could also get a job
Yeah,
and supplement with this 60,000 a year.
but there's one problem with that. That's that the flies are still gonna follow you, and they look almost exactly like real flies too. So you're gonna have 25 flies hovering around your head no matter where you go from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Well, yeah, but if I work in a cheese tasting facility, then it kind of makes sense. Let me smell like cheese all day.
Like trying to double dip with these jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You'd have to like make it through Cheese SA and see if they can, like, and see if they think you abide by like their health and safety conduct.
Yeah, what if they capture the flies to get them out of the workplace?
Well, for every fly that's inadvertently destroyed or removed or otherwise at a convenience, a supplementary fly is sent to you from Boston Dynamics to make up for the one that was lost.
Still gonna take time to get here though, so that gives me like solid like day probably.
I'd say it gives you about 45 minutes.
How fast can this fly go?
I'm thinking like it's like the Hulkbuster pod, where it's kind of just always like hovering overhead somewhere. So, which job would you rather have out of these two?
I think I'd rather have the cheese.
Wow. You'd rather have the cheese one. That's pretty surprising. I mean, granted, I'd say it's easier to say you take that job than like if you were actually in front of that conveyor belt and you saw just how much cheese you have to eat in 8 hours. Because that's like so much more than a regular taste tester has to deal with.
Wait, but at the same breath, like you're just gonna lose your fucking mind from these flies.
Maybe the case.
12 hours a day and there's 25 of them at all time.
Well, 100 if you took the sign-on bonus.
Eventually you're just gonna snap and fucking break them.
I mean, at least you get to sleep without them. And I guess you could shower without them bothering you. They kind of just like wait outside the shower curtain.
You just sit in the shower all day.
I guess you could, but you're gonna have to get out eventually. You know, the shower environment's not exactly too good for like eating food. Unless you want like a crapple. Just like some like hot, disgusting drink covered in like muck.
You like go out to get in your car and like close the door fast enough.
I mean, I'd say you'd probably be able to, like, considering like how close they are to your head and like just how fast they are, you might like lose a couple of them outside the car, but there's still going to be like a handful of them in the car, which is pretty much going to make driving impossible.
What if it's like a really windy day?
I mean, they are like still drones, like at the end of this, so they have like very good course correction.
What if one flies into your mouth?
That is covered. You will not be like reprimanded if one accidentally goes in your mouth, but they like will do their absolute best to like steer away from your mouth.
What if you just start like trying to get them into your mouth?
Oh, they're gonna see that because the thing is they have all built-in little cameras. They're gonna know. But you know, it's still passive income. You know, you could wear like, you know, your AirPods all day. You could have like a mosquito net on.
Yeah, but an AirPod only has a 4-hour charge.
You could just plug in some wired headphones, do what you gotta do. You know, sure you can't like go out in public anymore and interact with people. Oh yeah, and I forgot the stipulation. You have to work at this job for at least 2 years. Otherwise, if you like quit or fail in between that, you have to like fully reimburse them.
Yeah, I don't think I'd take that.
Cheese job's really the better option, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, there was one more food job, but in order for me to even ask this one, I'd have to know what your least favorite food is.
Oh, fuck.
Otherwise, I can always like save that for a rainy day if you do remember.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the classic. Probably, it might have to be Sloppy Joes.
Okay,
I think Sloppy Joes are fucking disgusting.
so would you take a $200,000 salary where you are the presidential taste tester? But the thing is that the only food that you're allowed to test are Sloppy Joes.
And how often is the president getting Sloppy Joes?
Well, I mean, you know, it's in his name.
It's like all he eats?
Yes,
How much of it am I expected to taste?
all of it.
I have to eat like a whole sandwich?
Yes.
How is that tasting it?
Like, you're not just gonna take a bite out of it and then hand it to him. You're gonna try one out of the batch.
How many fucking Sloppy Joe sandwiches are they making him?
As many as he wants.
Like, why not just like take like a fork and like scoop a little up off the sandwich and like taste it?
Because the whole point of a taste tester is that you gotta like try one out of the batch to make sure it's like poisonous. Make sure it's not poisonous, rather. If you just like taste a little piece of it but not the whole thing.
What's the likelihood that one of them is gonna be poisoned at some point?
Extremely minimal, but it's not 0%, which is the reason why this job exists.
Does the president even have a taste tester?
You know, I wouldn't doubt if that's like actually a job. It'd be really funny if it is. But this is $200,000. You basically get like room and board at the White House. Like you have to like sleep where like the chefs sleep, like in the kitchen.
Apparently, Obama was prominently known to have a taste tester.
All right. I'm not down on no Sloppy Joes. Sloppy Joe, $200,000. Room and board at the White House, but that's like pretty much all you're eating. What do you think?
How many
of that?
times a day?
It's all completely on the whim of Joe Biden.
I mean, granted, he seems like he sleeps for most of the day, so...
That's true, but he's a big eater when he's awake.
And what was the yearly pay?
200,000.
He said room and board at the White House, but he doesn't spend a lot of time there. So does that mean I'm gonna have to travel?
No, you basically just like stay at the White House.
What about when he's like in Europe?
You wait
Just,
for
like,
him to come back.
So when he's on like diplomatic trips, I don't have to taste anything?
No, you're still provided Sloppy Joes.
Why?
Because it's all you're allowed to eat, so they can like fine tune your taste of it.
What if I just leave to go eat when he's like not there?
I mean, I guess you could do that. It just, you're just not gonna get paid. You're only getting paid.
I'm not gonna get paid.
You're only getting paid for your time at the White House.
But if I'm getting 200,000 a year, no matter what.
That's true, but I'm gonna give you one stipulation that you have to still like work here for 2 years, and you're not allowed to like quit or anything in between
What
any
if
of that.
Biden loses the election?
He got inside information that he's not. He's gonna win, and during his like victory speech, fucking like November 2024, he's gonna look at the camera and say, "Hey, Peyton, there's 4 sloppy joes where that came from." And the audience is like all gonna look at the camera, so like clapping and cheering. I'm coming to the White House with a big hunger. Hope we got one to match. I know you hate those fucking sloppy joes. And now all of America knows. So, I mean, since the fly job was really, like, the horrible one, would you still prefer the cheese job over this one?
I don't know.
They're both, like, just fucked up enough.
Yeah, but on the one side, like, the cheese one is somewhat more enjoyable, because I do enjoy cheese. But on the other
how
side...
long will you enjoy it?
That's true. But on the other side, for the Biden one, it's not like I have to eat a sloppy Joe every day. It's only when he's at the White House.
Yes.
So that's probably less work and less eating.
That's true.
And I get to live at the White House. When they have tour visits, do they like come into my sloppy Joe room?
Yes, you're part of the tour. That's what most people are actually there to see. Even like foreign like diplomats and leaders. Like instead of them like sitting in the Oval Office like in those chairs like looking at each other, they have 2 like chairs set up in your room.
When Biden has diplomatic visits to America, do I have to be a part of that?
Yes, because
to, like shake hands with Macron.
Yeah, and although if he's eating sloppy joes abroad, you have to fly out there too and eat it.
But you said I don't have to leave the White House.
Yes, but the thing is, it's very rare that he's like eating a sloppy joe abroad. But on the off chance that he really like has like a feeling for one, you get the call.
It's so great. He gets a feeling for one, and then he has to wait like 13 hours for me to fly across.
They get you on one of those like Concorde
Like
jets,
supersonic jets.
Yeah, like the last remaining one.
They put me on like the SR-71, like the Blackbird.
They get you on a Blackbird. Get you there in like 6 hours. Of course, like Biden's like visiting like South Korea or something. Oh, my sloppy Joe, this food sucks. I hate Korea.
To, like all this great food. Just want sloppy Joes.
This Korean food sucks. I hate Korea. Give me sloppy Joe. Where's Peyton? He's still at the White House, sir. Get him over here.
That also means that Trump's gonna get to have a great nickname for him at the next debate.
Sloppy
the
Joe.
The whole world knows about my existence.
If Trump started calling him Sloppy Joe, I think that would be something wrong. Although I will say, if you do get sent abroad to eat Sloppy Joe, you do get paid overtime. You are paid for your time, including like the time on your flight.
The travel time?
Yes. Unfortunately, the only food you're allowed to eat on the flight are Sloppy Joes as well.
I'd even get like a complimentary bag of peanuts or something.
They're Sloppy Joe flavored.
It's a complimentary bag of Sloppy Joe filling.
I would like throw it out the window. Fuck that. I mean, like the idea of like eating that many Sloppy Joes is like horrible to me too. Which is like, I mean, hey, the pay's good. And think about like the resume you'd have.
Yeah, like, I was the taste tester for the president.
Like, you get to say you worked at the White House. Like, that's fucking crazy.
But at the same time, yeah, you could put it on your resume, but everyone's gonna know what you were doing at the White House.
Still.
Because Joe Biden called you out in his victory speech.
Yeah, but that's also really funny. And that would only give you more exposure. So after your 2 years are up, you'd pretty much have anything available to you.
Yeah, you could write a whole, you could, do a book tour.
Yeah, that would actually be great.
Yeah.
One last sloppy Joe. Yeah, that is... I mean, if you could deal with the 2 years, you'd pretty much be way more set than the other jobs. A shit ton of money, great resume, you got to see the world. Biden doesn't know who you are after all that time.
Yeah.
But
he's gonna forget who you are after right at the 2-year mark.
I don't remember. And the second you're out of his service, he loses his taste for sloppy joes.
It's gonna be the next big criticism of him.
Yeah, he moves on to just liking pizza. And he gets a ton of taste testers that just get to eat pizza all day.
Joe, you said in the 2022 debates, you said that you love sloppy joes, but here you are, you don't eat them anymore. You're
Sloppy
lying
Joe
to the American people.
Sloppy Joe. That's what we call
Sloppy
you.
Joe
Sloppy
can't even
Joe.
cover his own tracks. That's why I call you Sloppy Joe.
You can't even eat your own food. You gotta have someone chew it up and spit it in your mouth like a mama bird. Sloppy Joe. Disgusting rat fink fuck. Sloppy Joe Biden. Lay a sloppy turd.
Lay a few more.
Okay, I can no more of that. I don't know. Can you think of a job that's more infuriating than what I've listed?
When you were talking about the Boston Dynamics one, I thought it was gonna be that you have to box the Petman. They put you in a ring with him.
You gotta
and it's
fight him.
every day. And he's getting better. He's learning on the job.
You gotta practice at home. I mean, that wouldn't be too fair though, because you're still punching steel.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a brain that moves when it gets hit.
Yeah,
he doesn't have pain receptors.
In order to fight him, you have to treat him like General Grievous and open him up. Blast away at his heart. But if this is a boxing match, I don't think you're gonna be allowed to do that. You're fighting a thing that's literally impervious to what boxing is supposed to do to a human being.
Yeah.
And it's getting better. Every day they're updating the firmware.
His arms are spring loaded.
Ugh. And the worst part is he doesn't stay down. You're never gonna get a knockout.
Yeah, you never get the TKO.
Yeah, because he always gets back up.
Actually, maybe is that the one caveat you get?
You'd have to knock him down.
You get the punch out. If he gets knocked down 3 times, then it's a TKO.
Yeah, that I don't know how you're gonna do that though. That doesn't regard. You'd have to push him.
Yeah.
Because he has gyroscopes in his fucking waist, and he can adjust himself perfectly. So no matter how hard you hit him, he's not falling over. You'd have to do something that's gonna get you disqualified. That's just bullshit. You're just gonna get beat the shit out of by metal hands all day, and he's getting better. Which means that the only way you're gonna possibly win is if you dodged every hit and just won by technicality every time. You just landed more hits on him. By the end of this training, he's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah.
To get him trained of every top boxer. Literally learning algorithms.
And they've been turning boxer styles into algorithms and like monitoring every single fight, putting all of that raw data into them.
And just to make it even filthier, after your first fight, you didn't realize that you were like there was like cameras all around that room that were converting like your movement into like algorithmic data to be fed into the robot. So
yeah, that's how he's learning.
So it knows your movements.
Learning based off of you.
It knows exactly where you're gonna go. And it's like reading this like way faster than a human eye can like get data to the mind. So the second you even shift your weight one direction, it already punched your face.
The first fight, he's like at your level, but then the second fight, they instantly upload the fighting styles of Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and Manny Pacquiao into him all at once.
There's also horseshoes in his boxing gloves.
Yeah. And he has a Glock in his waistband.
Okay, I know where this is going. If he's like, you've forgotten what I'm getting at.
The Rocky story?
Oh god, was it like Rocky like kept shooting Ivan Drago over and over? No. Or was it the other way around?
I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. I just remember that Rocky ends up getting his ass beat by Ivan Drago. And it's like during the post-fight interview where he's like, "Oh, you really have me on the ropes."
Like he keeps losing worse and worse, and he keeps talking like more mad shit in the post-fight.
Look, I had him on the ropes. I'm gonna get him next time.
Why am I like slipping into Trump?
I had him on the ropes.
Like, I had him on the ropes. I'll get him next time. Like, I got a secret for him.
And like that's when he pulls his robes off and flashes the Glock handle sticking out of his boxing shorts.
Like 1 year later, when the next fight is there, and Ivan Drago just like was never alerted. I got a little secret for him. I'm not losing a second time. Enters the ring, just pulls it out and blows his head off.
I think in our original story, when the second he reaches for the Glock, he gets lit up by like the 10 KGB agents in the audience.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even get the shot off.
And then the post-fight interview, he's like covered in fucking like he's basically like on like an emergency like room like hospital bed that's being wheeled out of like the stadium. He's got like 3 IVs hooked up. He's covered in bandages that are all soaked red with blood. And he's like, "Yeah, that was a dirty little trick by Ivan, but I think next time's the one." I didn't know he had that much backup in his home country. And I think I remember what happened. Since the U.S. literally could not afford another loss, they like got their own CIA agents to like counteract the KGB. Like they had to send it back up because it was literally Rocky's repeated losses were like having them lose the Cold War.
Didn't it end with him coming into like the final fight? He came in with a suicide vest on and like a Halloween store muscle suit over it to cover it up.
You know, and I almost want to say that like he assassinated Gorbachev at some point. Like someone shot Gorbachev. Like, do you remember that at all?
I don't remember Gorbachev dying.
Like, I remember like a CIA agent was snuck into the stadium and like a red sniper dot went over his head. Like someone got shot in that manner. And I also remember
I think it might have been Rocky.
Like,
I
he was
think it
the
might
one
have
that
been
was
like
shot?
the one time he was about to win. Like they shot him.
It was a dirty little trick. I had him on the ropes that whole fight, and then you have to play dirty at the final hour. But next time, I ain't losing. Like, flash of the suicide vest.
Yeah.
I don't even remember, like, how that went. Like, did he, like, even kill Ivan with that?
The suicide vest?
Yeah.
I think so. I think that was the one that finally worked.
It was like a
And
shit.
it was like his like sixth match with him.
USA, like, pulls the fucking cord, and like they're all shaped charges that just only blow him up.
They're all claymores pointed inward.
Yeah. He just rushes the ring, like, drops the muscle suit, USA, and there's just nothing left of him but like an ash pile. Ivan Drago didn't even blink. And then, like, the one last post-fight interview where he's, like, stitched back together like fucking Humpty Dumpty. Or, like, Frankenstein, probably better. He's like, yeah, he wasn't all too phased by my by my latest technique, but I'm gonna keep training, and maybe by like 2010 I'll be ready for my next fight.
I just remember what started that whole thing, and I can't say it on here.
Okay, right, tell me
Unless I like
afterwards.
censored it.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, I'm all ears.
Because the whole thing started with one of them just saying like, I will you.
Yeah, it put the fear of God into fucking Rocky. When he heard that, and that's why he like took a gun. Oh my God. Is anyone else hearing this? Like when Ivan says like you can hear like the crowd like cheers even louder. Holy shit.
Stupid. Like Rocky has that whole training montage just to hear that and like immediately shrink.
He just like breaks under pressure.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hysterical if like there's that whole training montage, because I know they both have their own montages, but like Rocky's doing his and Ivan Drago's just like sitting around doing fucking like fuck all, but he's still like
Yeah.
getting bigger. And like by the time of the fight, he's like twice the size of Rocky, like in the movie.
He's like grown like 3 feet.
Like he fucking looks like Goku when he fights Frieza. Like that's how wide he is.
When he first goes Super Saiyan.
Yes. He doesn't even have gloves on. Just bare fists. He's completely ass naked, oiled up, bare fists. That's what he says to him. He's like, can we get a DQ on this? I'm not fighting him.
Says it and Rocky's eyes go completely wide and his mouth like opens a little bit. Anybody else hear that? Can we get a ref in here?
There's nothing he can do. He's like in their territory.
The ref's been paid off.
Gorbachev's like sitting on like the high booth, like fucking, like rubbing his
Like
hands
an
together.
emperor.
Yeah, he's like dressed exactly like Caesar.
Yeah. He's got the owl reef on.
He like gives the thumbs up, and like lions come out of cages and it's just like go right after fucking Rocky.
Rocky. They've been trained by Drago.
Like, Drago like lets out a whistle, and you just see like these legionaries let loose the lions. Oh my god! Yeah, the after mauling discussion. Yeah, I wasn't seeing that lion bit coming into the last second. He really caught me off guard with that one. I'm still like that. What?
I think if I paced myself better, I would have been able to fight those lions off. But...
He has to go through another montage where it's him like beating up lions.
He's like traveling to the savannah.
Yeah. He's like performing that like African tribal thing where he grabs their tails. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, I definitely got the lion stuff all pat down. Just gotta hope he doesn't bring a gun next time, right? The fact that he's so scared, he was willing to lose it all by bringing a firearm. Like somehow that was never checked, like during like the pre-fight, like business. Like that shit would never have like went by unless like he put it up his ass.
Well, I mean, if Drago said that to you, would you not do everything you could to make sure you've stayed protected?
Oh yeah, you'd need fucking more than that. I think
Especially if Drago shows up looking like fucking Goku.
Yeah, and like correct me if I'm wrong, but I think after the first gun thing failed, he like brought in like a double barrel the next time.
Yeah, he brought in a shotgun the
Like,
next time.
He like pulled a sawed off like out of his shorts. Like 6 fights and he's like still just not winning. He's getting the snot kicked out of him every time. Russia just wins.
Like, the US is having so much civil strife. They can't get a single win off on the Soviets.
The US is collapsing because Rocky lost his 6th fight to Drago. Apollo 11 just like exploded. I mean, I think that was like way before this movie takes place. It was just like a sign of things to come.
Stability of the entire timeline relies on Rocky beating Drago.
Oh yeah, like and it has to be the first time too. Like, because like if he wins the second time, like then what? Then they're just even.
Yeah, then they need a tiebreaker.
And there's no way he's pulling that one off. He's just like, no matter how hard you hit him, he's just unfazed. It's like in Terminator 2 when I think like one of the cops like punches Arnold like across the face, like breaks his glasses, and he just like he's completely unfazed by it. That's like he has his like Drago has his hands down in the fight. They're at his
He's
side,
not even guarding. He's not even taking a stance. He's standing straight up,
completely
hands
straight.
at his side.
Rocky's just hitting him with hooks across the face, and it's doing nothing. Drago just winds up like one Donkey Kong punch and just blows a hole right through Rocky's gut. Like 12 ribs fire out his back with a shockwave.
His hand poking straight through to the other side.
Because he still doesn't have gloves on.
Yeah.
Like Rocky has to somehow kill him before he dies himself. But the thing is, like, if Rocky breaks the rules, the KGB's gonna light him up. Who the fuck signed me on for this?
Wait, that was the other thing too. Wasn't it that Drago is actively like breaking boxing rules?
Yes.
Like nobody's stopping him.
Oh, because they're in the Soviet Union. They're not gonna stop him. It's still very hysterical. I mean, that's a particularly old bender.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a couple years old now. I just wish it was more documented, because I'm sure we're missing a ton of shit.
Granted, I don't know how much of that original one would have been able to be like published.
Yeah.
Considering how much of it we're forgetting, they been like extremely rough.
It's true. But only makes it funnier. Like censoring the audio, it really forcing the audience to put the piece together. Determined on her own what Drago just fucking said to Rocky.
Put the fear of God into him.
Yeah. I think most people could figure that out on their own. This was 7 Fights sponsored by Crapple, made from the worst stuff on earth. I'm gonna take a drink of it right now.
6 Fights sponsored by Manscaped. Use code Rocky6 to get 6% off.
6% off. I don't even shave my fucking balls. Meanwhile, Ivan's like clean as a baby, like covered in oil. Rocky's coming in. He's like beyond hairy.
He's so oiled up that any throw Rocky, like any
Lances
punch
off of
Rocky
him.
throws at him, just slides off.
Meanwhile, like Rocky has so much hair that it's like a disqualification. Like he's literally like 5 times as hairy as he is in the movie. He's like a fucking gorilla. He's like, yeah, I like the feeling of the hair all over me like a monkey. So I decided to stop shaving for one day.
He's been taking gorilla supplements to try to like even Drago's strength.
And they broke into a zoo and they found like the protein that they give like sick gorillas.
It's the real like Inca dudes of Drago's Gilgamesh.
Really is an epic to behold. Like one's completely bullshit of a cheater, the other's a complete bullshit of a loser.
It's like amazing that these fights are even still getting set up. Like Rocky can't win.
The problem is that like the fucking betting numbers on like Rocky winning get higher and higher each time.
Yeah.
So like just more crazed fucking people keep betting on him like somehow. And like I like to imagine that Rocky keeps making more and more extremely risky surgeries to like make him taller and wider. And like none of them
Getting like rods implanted into his legs.
Yeah. And like none of it's under like anesthesia. There's just like there's like
Trying to pain train himself.
yeah, like just like how there's like a training montage, there's a surgery montage where it's playing the same music, but he's just like in the hospital, but like oh, they're like chopping his legs off. So now he's like an inch shorter than Ivan, but like his legs are very weak. And Ivan just goes. Ivan goes for like a roundhouse kick that obliterates Rocky's legs.
He sweeps him. And it's like gets on top of him and starts ground pounding.
He gets on top of him and starts biting chunks out of him like a shark. The crowd has gone crazy. They've already dumped like the post-fight confetti. Like no one can even see what's happening. You can't even hear Rocky's screams over the cheering.
It's such a mess of blood mist. He can't tell what's happening.
Like Rocky like ah, like screaming. Get this fucker off of me! Man. and like drags Rocky down the hill. So the idea that like after like 7 fights, like an Ivan just goes for a kick. Like all of the Soviet Union was in on this.
Not only that, but like he gets on top of him. Like keeps him on the ground and starts going at him.
It's just breaks his legs with one clean sweep and then like punches him until his entire head is purple. Like he looks like one of those people that got stung by 200 hornets.
Punches him until his entire head is deflated. His skull is completely gone and all of his brain matter has been shot out. His head is like deflated basketball.
Every piece of his skull has been fragmented. Everything just exploded into like a thin, like a fucking mess on the ground. He's like still like his arms just like wiggling a bit just from like the sheer shock. Like every punch that Drago like lays on him is like another shock wave.
It's powerful enough to send an electrical course through his body to reactivate his nerve endings.
Oh my god. Rocky can still feel pain after death. Keeping him artificially alive because like his brain stem is somehow like still intact.
Yeah, he's like a beheaded chicken.
Yeah, he's just like a retarded chicken just sitting there. Oh man.
The only thing that might have been funnier is if like after Rocky got all of this surgery, if he just gets disqualified. Still have all the scenes of Drago getting the injections and everything.
Yeah.
Rocky gets one surgery and they disqualify him on the spot.
Like,
he has to like, go through reversal surgery to get back in.
I think it would be funny if there's just like one added scene where it's still playing the music, but like Rocky has like a severe tumor removed from his brain. It's only for like a second.
Completely. He's completely hairless from chemotherapy.
He like lost so much muscle mass in chemo.
Yeah, he goes in for the 8th round and he's just skin and bones.
He even kills a cancer patient. Gorbachev is like stands up and starts clapping before like he jumps off of his like stage and like fucking elbow drops Rocky. Like theme of the Soviet Union starts blaring. Rocky's quite literally having a seizure in the ring.
Drago throws he throws one punch, puts him down.
Sends him into like a fatal epileptic fit.
He throws one punch right at his throat.
Takes his head off clean. His head goes flying into the audience like the crowd catches like a t-shirt.
He starts eating it.
Like all fucking like every citizen of the Soviet Union just rushes like the fucking ring, like trampling over like Rocky's body, and they all like pick up Ivan, you know, like sort of like cheering as they carry him out.
Ivan and they start dismembering Rocky, putting each body part on a pike, and, like carrying it, parading it through the Red Square.
They're like ants. They disassemble them limb by limb, and like deliver them all to Gorbachev from the eat. Oh.
So Gorbachev can lay more eggs.
Yeah. And out of each egg pops like a little Ivan. It's like so over if all that shit happened. It's like what, like the 9th fight where he answer Rocky. I survived cancer. I could survive whatever you throw at me.
It's like barely been 3 months since he was declared cancer-free.
Since he was like declared medically dead for 6 minutes during a risky surgery. He wakes up, he's like, I was God, I saw the other side. But I think the side of the devil isn't gonna stop me from winning this fight.
He's just seen flashes of just endless fire every single time he's gotten in the ring with Drago.
I know what's coming for me.
You don't scare me no more. I'm winning this fight, but fair, mean, or foul. Like every time Rocky throws a punch, like a penalty buzzer goes off.
Yeah, the ref like steps in.
He blows a whistle, and like Drago's allowed one free hit. And he just goes for like a fucking front kick below the belt. Completely obliterates Rocky's testicles.
He throws an uppercut right into his sack and pops both of them.
Like Rocky covers his face for like the penalty hit, and like Ivan just looks down. First he pantses him. And like Rocky's completely commando, so like his balls are just out, like once he pulls on like the American shorts.
And then he completely winds up his right leg to the point where his heel is like practically touching his bag. He completely swings it right in between his legs.
Like even the audience got quiet.
Yeah. Completely quiet with anticipation.
Is this still like cancer Rocky?
Yeah.
It's like so pitiful. He got all these like expensive, risky surgeries. Then he gets like cancer. And it's like his 11th fight and he still can't win. Like, the US just can't do anything for them. Like he's like exiled from the US. He's living
banished. He's disgraced.
He's been living in a van somewhere like in Siberia. And just every couple months he still like keeps setting up these fights, trying to like even the score.
He's on the run for his life because like the CIA is trying to take him down because he keeps disgracing America.
Yeah. They try to assassinate him. Like they actually are the ones like shot him with like the cancer gun.
That's where he got it from.
Yeah, they're pulling like all the Cold War stops to like try to get him. Like it's like for a guy like cancer kind of like came out of nowhere. Like it was just like a brain tumor he had. Like, completely unrelated to the cancer he got later. I kept it in a jar. I take shots of my pickled tumor brine.
It's formaldehyde, brine-ridden brain.
I'm drinking straight up shots of formaldehyde. I always pep myself up with the crapple before every fight. Like bald, like pale Rocky. He's half the weight he was. You can see his ribs. What few ribs he has left. He has like hardly any teeth left. All
he's
gums.
Not even close to the same weight bracket as Drago, but they keep putting him in these fights. Like Drago has to be like a super heavyweight. Like Rocky's like a featherweight at this point.
Like probably even less. He's a fucking paperweight. Honestly, like there's just like Ivan at one point should just like shake his head and just mercy kill him.
Did he not do that when he punched Rocky's head clean off his shoulder?
I feel like every time he dies, it like ends the timeline and a new one branches off on the off chance that he lived, and like that's where we're at. Where he keeps surviving and giving like post fight like smack talk.
He's like, yeah, my nuts were obliterated, but I think I've been training, and next time I'm really gonna show that Ivan fucked the what for.
I'm gonna get back that mud bastard for noodling me.
I'm gonna kill that pinko fuck for obliterating my testicles.
It's like, when does it get to the point where Rocky starts, like, going after Ivan's family? It goes to their house with, like, a gun.
I can't win in the ring.
Can't beat Drago. He's got to go after like the weaker members.
He has to like kill his like fucking like 70-year-old mother.
He breaks into the Drago household, and they're all just built exactly like Drago.
Gets beat the shit out of by them.
Oh shit!
And like there's like the post-break-in interview, like after they beat the shit out of him, like right outside the house.
He's like getting like escorted out in handcuffs.
He's like talking like the KGB.
He's like, yeah, you know, I wasn't expecting them to also be championship fighters. But I think next time I break in, I'll have to keep that in mind.
It's like, next time I got a surprise for the Drago household, and he pulls like a Semtex like fucking plastic explosive. Like a pipe bomb. Like, Ronald Reagan has to make like fucking speech. He's like, Mr. Balboa, please step down from the ring. On behalf of the world, you need to stop.
On behalf of the United States of America, you need to stop.
You are enemy number one. You will be killed if you don't hand yourself in to the proper authorities.
Yeah, I think if I caught that Reagan fucker, I'd really knock his teeth in.
Mr. Gorbachev, hand over that Rocky.
Mr. Gorbachev, tell Ivan to stop holding back.
Tell Ivan to finish the job.
You know, is this all still taking place in Rocky IV?
It's like the longest movie in history.
Like, how long do you think this is?
Or is it getting like separated into parts for like each fight? Rocky IV Part 8.
I like it better if it was one whole movie as like an experiment to see how long people could like sit and watch this.
Like, what, do they lie to about the runtime?
Yeah. Like, it was supposed to just be like an hour, 20 minutes or whatever, and it's got like there's like 3 people left, like bordering on 8 hours.
No intermissions.
0 intermissions. And like 8 hours, they're only just up to the point where like he got the brain tumor removed. Like anytime like he's pressed for questioning, fucking Sylvester Stallone just refuses to talk. He like
Anytime they ask him about this movie, he just gets white in the face. Like a bead of sweat rolls down his forehead.
And unfortunately, they could not reach Ivan Drago for questioning. He was real. I mean, you want to end that there? It's like hour 20, pretty perfect.
Yeah.